If you're listening to this podcast, it means you're ready, no, more than ready, to have a major breakthrough in your business. You're hungry for change and you're hungry for growth, and that's why you're feeding your mind right now with all this valuable information. But to drive those changes, to be really smart about what you're doing and to make the right choices before you take massive action, you need help from someone who's been there, someone who's going to coach you through it, even just someone to get you started on your journey. That's why Tony Robbins is offering a free one-to-one business strategy session from one of his top business coaches, a $600 value, completely free, no strings attached. That's right, if you're listening right now, you can go to tonyrobbins.com/CEO and sign up for a free session with a member of Tony's team who's helped business owners like yourself overcome their obstacles and set them on the path to success. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Tony Robbins Podcast. I'm your host, Annie Jorg. If you're familiar with Tony's renowned business seminar, Business Mastery, you know it's nothing like your average business growth conference. Business Mastery is a 5-day immersive seminar where you go to build a platform for explosive growth. In these next 2 episodes, we're taking you to a special segment within Business Mastery, where Tony holds a panel discussion with the leaders behind today's fastest growing companies. Today, you're going to hear from Jonas Kjellberg. He's a serial entrepreneur, author, investor, and, most notably, the co-creator of Skype. Jonas is a very special individual. He's somebody who's driven by a deep-seated passion to completely shake up the status quo. While others might focus on changing one variable at a time, Jonas has his sights set on changing as many variables as possible. It's this mindset that led him to take a number of risks and make a lot of big bets, some of which failed spectacularly, but some of which became massive successes, like Skype. Tony and Jonas talk about the evolution of Skype, how it became one of the internet's most revolutionary businesses, disrupting the entire telecommunications sector in a way that no one saw coming. Jonas reveals what he's learned from his past failures and the key lessons he's taken with him when it comes to eliminating costs, customer acquisition, and why every company should be ready to embrace change and pivot on a dime.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up, give a giant welcome to Jonas Kjellberg, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. This is exciting for me personally because I'm such a fan of you as an entrepreneur, because while you're known for Skype, you're just a serial entrepreneur that just keeps ripping it open every time. And anybody can get lucky maybe, and maybe get lucky enough to hit home run, but I don't know that luck's enough even for that. But to do it the number of times you've done, it's amazing. So for other people that don't know, you've created Campus Mobile and you sold that to Vodafone. You did Player.io, I guess, a social sharing type of site, which you sold to Yahoo. Yeah. He built iCloud and sold it to Apple, along with Skype, just this little thing on the side. So first, give him a hand for what he's accomplished, just unbelievable. And I'd love to know, what is your secret sauce? How is it you're able to consistently find ways to produce companies that touch people around the world?
I don't know. I think I'm not afraid of losing, and I want to change the game of the industry. I think, I look at, industries and that make a lot of money, and I wake up that morning and say, how can I really f*** up their business big time? And, take out profits for them because, they're hierarchy, they do their things in a new way, and the customer maybe wants something different. Often I make a mistake and things go sideways.
Sure.
It's like Nanuba and Player.io, Kenetworks, all companies that went sideways. So if you ever have a company that goes sideways, call Yahoo, because with a bit of persuasion, they buy everything.
Well, hopefully they'll be around to still buy things the way they've been operating.
That's the problem, they can't buy anything in a couple of years,
Tell me the thinking that went behind Skype and how you guys came about making that happen.
Well, I think, I've just been part of my biggest failure in life. I was the CEO of a company called Lycos, and then another little company showed up in Palo Alto called Google. That was a bummer. So that didn't work out. So I met some of my old friends, Niklas and Janus. They just, also were had another company called Kazaa that also went sideways. They had a technology which was a peer-to-peer sharing technology. So we started another company called Yoltid. No one really cared about that. So we pivoted it, and we started another company called Skyper, which was more of a mobile network on Wi-Fi. So we built this phone client so you could call. And it didn't really work out either. But after iterating and rethinking the business model and taking away, the cost, we actually got it moving. And we were just amazed when we sold it. We were still thinking, that Microsoft or AOL will come kill us tomorrow. Yeah.
And you sold it, wasn't 2003 is when Skype came out? Didn't you sell it in 2005 for like 2.6 billion?
2005, yeah. 2006.
2 years later, he sells it for 2.6 billion.
Yeah.
And
a lot of luck.
It was not bad for 2 years.
A lot of luck. A lot of luck.
And then it was bought by Microsoft later for over $8 billion.
Yeah.
Right?
So eBay weren't too happy about the acquisition, so they sold it with a good premium a bit later.
Yeah, a bit of a premium. Not bad for them. So tell me, when you look at things, one of the things I saw in some of the interviews with you that I was fascinated by is that you have this philosophy of basically innovating in zeros.
Yeah.
Will you explain that to everybody?
Yeah, I don't know if you have a whiteboard here, but I think one of the main things for you as an entrepreneur, and just, I think you are, amazing. But I think one of the key things for me is to really challenge the cost side. Because in a lot of businesses, there's a lot of cost. And it's not about making things free, it's basically taking away costs. I can give you an example. For Skype, a normal telco, they would invest in a lot of infrastructure. We thought, okay, how could you get the customer to pay for it? So we said, okay, you already paid for your internet, so we found our first zero. Second thing, a telco company, they needed a lot of switches. So we said, the interesting thing here is that the CPU power in these switches was actually the same as in your personal computer. So we said, why don't we let your personal computer code the calls? We found another zero, so we didn't have cost for that. Third thing is to do good quality for Skype. You need a lot of Cisco servers. I don't know, how many here actually use Skype? Wow, that's cool.
Virtually everyone in the room.
How many use Skype before Microsoft picked up the product? That's a lot of people as well. So can you remember the time when you used your computer, you left it on, came back 3 hours later, and your computer was super hot, and the processor was going 100%? Can you remember it? Because if that's the case, your computer had just become a supernode, and all the traffic was routed through your computer. So